Austin home sellers, lend me your ears. Did you put your home on the market in 2023 only for it not to sell for the price point you wanted? Did you have little to no foot traffic during the sale of your home? Did you decide to postpone your home sale for 2024 to wait this market out? Well, this video is for all the homeowners whose homes did not sell and who have a mortgage interest rate of 4.5% or less. In the next 15 minutes, I am going to discuss owner financing or seller financing. This is going to be the new trend going into 2024 because those of you who have a low interest rate for your home loan can not only be used to attract buyers, but is a viable way to get the price point you desire. And there's even a way for you to use the proceeds from your home sale to help buy down the interest rate for your next home, thus creating a win-win scenario for you and the buyer. So how do I know this? I attended a seminar at the Austin Board of Realtors last quarter to see Ryan Ley speak about creative financing and how this applies to home sellers going into the new year. Ryan is a local mortgage lender here in the Austin area who's been in the business 20 plus years. He's predicting not only will your home itself be considered an asset, but those of you with a mortgage loan of 4.5% or less, this too will be considered a huge asset in the coming years as interest rates hover around 7%. Let's dive in. If you're coming from TikTok, smash that like button because you want to learn more about seller financing and what that's going to mean going into 2024. Most of us know that a home is an asset. But if you're one of the lucky few that got locked into a low interest rate home loan, that too will be a huge asset to your advantage moving into 2024 and beyond whenever you get ready to sell your home. Now, this is Pace Morby. He has an awesome YouTube channel. He talks about seller financing. He talks about creative financing, and he does a phenomenal job at breaking down what that means in a very, probably you could say a lot better than I can. He has this awesome Ford F-150 story that talks about seller financing. So I recommend checking out his video to learn more about it and to look at the comment section because there's a world of knowledge in the comments talking about all the different pain points, all the objections, all the concerns that people have. And I picked out a few myself that I want to talk about in this video. Structuring the deal was a reoccurring comment that I kept seeing on what's the best way to do it? How do you do it so I'm protected as a home seller? Because again, with owner financing, seller financing, you are doing a deal with the buyer directly, not really involving the bank anymore because you're doing it amongst yourselves. But as we're going to find out later in this video, there is a role that the mortgage lender will play. What if that buyer stops making payments? So you do an owner financing deal, you find a buyer, but that buyer stops making payments. Then what? What's going to happen next? That was a huge concern I saw in the comments. Due on sale clause. Now, if you bought a home through the traditional mortgage lending process, more than likely you have a due on sale clause, and the mortgage lender can call for the whole payment to be paid before any type of transfer of ownership is done. Well, there is a workaround behind that. And I present to you Leahy Lending. They have figured out all the problems that you have, all those concerns we just mentioned, they have figured it out. Leahy Lending, they are local here in Austin. They service the Texas area, and on their website, they do service a few more other states, but I want to really focus here in Austin, Texas, because that's where I'm located. That's where Ryan's located. And this is Ryan right here. A quick story time. A few weeks ago, I went to a seminar at the Austin Board of Realtors. That's a cool place where realtors go to get the latest trends, learn about awesome strategies like this. And there's only 50 people that showed up to this thing. And I'm willing to bet I'm probably one of the only ones that's doing video on this because that's how much I believe in this product. That's how cool this solution is to the pain points that I'm seeing in the marketplace. Because let's face it, if you're a home seller and you were trying to sell your home this year and it didn't get sold, chances are you probably had little to no foot traffic because you're priced high. And with mortgage rates being what they are, buyer demand has pretty much plummeted. We've never seen such little buyer demand because of how quickly interest rates raise this year. Now, I know if as a home seller, you're probably scratching your head as to like, why is my home not selling? I have a price point that I do not want to go less than. And how can I get my home sold at top dollar without having to give back in concessions? Because that's what's happening right now. If you have no choice but to sell your home and you can't wait this out, then more than likely you're giving money back at the closing table to help the buyer out, help with that, to help the buyer buy down that interest rate so they can afford the home. So that's money out of your pocket, to help with the buyer. And with owner financing, with this program, there is another way. This is a creative way, a creative solution to your problem. Home ownership made easy. Home is the acronym here. And the beauty of this program is that he's done so many of these transactions and has worked out the kinks and has hired the right team of people in place to make sure this whole program is streamlined and it's a turnkey solution. That's how you phrased it. Now, one of the beauties of this program is that the flexible loan terms, because both parties have the flexibility to agree on the loan terms, including the duration, the down payment, the interest rate. So ultimately, you as a home seller, whatever your motivations are, if your motivation is to get top dollar because you need that money and all of it so you can move up because you need a bigger place, that we can write the terms to benefit you in that regard. If you're a home seller who's looking to either buy down, so you need a smaller place, and maybe you want some monthly cash flow instead of a huge lump sum, we can customize these agreements to fit that motivation as well. So ultimately, when we have a sit down and we're looking and we're doing like a consultation, Ryan will ask, what are your motivations for why you're selling your home? And then that way he can customize these agreements to make sure that you come out on top and you're winning. Now, the less stringent qualifications, this is great because this is going to give access to a bigger buyer pool, because a big part of why houses have been sitting for as long as they have been in Austin is because interest rates going up. Real estate is hypersensitive to whatever the mortgage interest rates are, because that's going to reduce buyer demand if things are simply too expensive, right? And that's what this whole year has been about, is things are way too expensive. Buyers have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to drop. But with owner financing, there is a way where you can get a mortgage loan. You can buy a home 1, 2, sometimes even 3 points below whatever the market rate is. Now, there is a criteria to this where it makes sense, and only certain sellers can qualify for this. We're going to get into that here in a sec. So sellers, my home sellers, this only makes sense if you have 10% of equity or more in your home. If you have less than that, if you bought within the last couple of years, but more than likely in Austin, you probably will fit that criteria because we've had crazy record appreciation the last couple of years. If you have a interest rate where you're 4.5% or less, you would be a good candidate for this type of owner financing. If you don't need all the equity to your home right away, you would be a good candidate for this type of owner financing. So you don't need all your money right away to buy the next house, because that's part of like the strategy here, is not using it right away, because that's where, if you have to use all the proceeds for your home to buy the next, then you probably wouldn't be a good candidate, because that's where there's less room for us to be creative in the terms. And remember, the terms, more than anything, is the secret sauce to owner financing. The terms, because that's where we can customize it to benefit you, the home seller, to get you top dollar and help out the home buyer at the same time. Now, if you're a home seller and this past year your deal fell through because of financing, because the interest rates, then this owner financing could be a good solution to that problem. Now, all those concerns that I addressed earlier about the structuring of the deal, what if the buyer stops paying? My answer to all that is Leahy Lending, and let them figure it out and worry about it, because they've already this is what they do every day and have figured out all the nuances. They figured out how to write these and set you up as a home seller in the right situation so you're successful coming out on top. Now, the two things on this slide, and this is a slide that I took a picture of during the presentation, so you're seeing what I'm seeing that day that Ryan was presenting this to us, are the last two things on the screen, which is they've hired a law firm that specializes in these types of owner financing agreements. Because again, this in and of itself is a specialization when it comes to the transaction of the sale, and you need an attorney that specializes in these types of agreements because they can be very nuanced. There's a lot of ins and outs that you want to make sure that you have all your bases covered. The last thing on here is the loan servicing company that collects the payments, right? There's a lot of money moving around where the buyer is paying the seller and the seller's paying the mortgage company. But how does that work when it comes to owner financing? Well, this third party service company handles all that. So that's where the streamline comes in. That's where this turnkey solution comes in, because they've already thought about all that, all the steps involved, and made it super easy for you just to schedule a call. Let's talk about your motivations, and let's get this deal done. Now, this is a little snapshot, a little screenshot that I took from their website. I'm going to link it down below in the description, because that way you can do a little bit more research, because I know if I'm hearing this for the first time, I'm going to be Googling after this video, seeing, okay, what more information can I digest so I can ask good questions when you call. Now, pay attention to the very last paragraph here where it says the seller can also enjoy a low interest rate on top of the new home purchase. How can you do that? It's that equity part. You have to have more than 10% of equity in your home for this to make sense, so you can help buy yourself an interest rate lower than what the market rate is, but you need equity in your home to do that. And if you schedule a call, Ryan does a phenomenal presentation going through all the numbers, going through this whole process step by step. And he's so good. He's so good. I wish if this video gets enough love, if we get 10 likes, smash that like button. I will bring Ryan Ley back on my YouTube channel so we can talk about this again, and we can take even a deeper dive into how this all works, because, and have him and go straight and get the information straight from the source. Here's a quick side-by-side of what the pros are for the buyers and the sellers. The biggest thing here is that low interest rate, because at the end of the day, buyers just want to know, what's my monthly payment and what am I bringing to the closing table? That's it. That's all they want to know. And what you're paying monthly is very much tied in with what the mortgage interest rate is. And if you can get a mortgage interest rate that's 1, 2, maybe even 3 points lower than what the market rate is right now, then you're going to come out on top if you're a home buyer. And as a home seller, you're going to get the price point that you want for your home. Now, I left these numbers in here. Again, these are screenshots from the presentation itself. So for my investor bubbas, for my analytical people that really like crunching the numbers and seeing the numbers, pause this so you can take a really good look at it. But I just have this here just so you can see it for the first time. Again, if you schedule a call with Ryan and I, he will go over all this in great detail and answer all your questions, because I know when I saw it for the first time, it was a lot to digest, right? And he is great at making a story and to explain these numbers so it makes sense. And at the time when I was receiving all this information and he was talking about the two ways of, like, if you go traditional financing as opposed to owner financing, you could see the possible cash flow as a home seller. You could see selling your home for top dollar and not having to do any concessions at the closing table to help with the buyer. This is where the terms is the secret sauce in this whole thing. Pause again if you want to see the numbers and see how it all works. But again, I know you're going to have tons of questions, and rightfully so. Schedule a consultation. We'll do the presentation again. And again, if this video gets 10 likes, I will bring Ryan on so we can do this a way deeper dive at how this works, and this was going to be the trend going into 2024. If you're a home seller, you want to sell your home for top dollar, and you have that low interest rate that you could use as an asset, as a way to attract buyers to sell your home for top dollar and possibly cash flow from that home sale. My name is Omar Pineda. I'm your Austin realtor. Let's get this deal done.